Welcome to Family Gamer TV. Now, if you were paying attention at Toy Fair in New York, you may have spotted some of these recreations of classic scenes from Disney films using the new sculpts of the Disney princesses. I like the way this takes the dolls and places them in various sort of action poses. We've got Merida here with her bow drawn, because this is how my kids play with their toys. They'll mash everything together and have all sorts of adventures. But looking more into how these scenes have been created, I discovered it was Brain McCarty's work on display here, and how he had recreated these different scenes from the films using the princess toys was kind of fascinating. And I got a chance to see behind the scenes to see how he created each one of these images. The first of these images is of course from Rapunzel, that classic lantern scene out on the lake, and here you can see it coming together with Brian in his workshop with the lanterns in place, cameras poised to take that picture. What I like though is the sense that all sorts of different materials, different props are being brought in, much like my kids do when they're playing with the dolls in the real world, to create this scene from the film. So if we go back to that cell from Tangled, and let's reveal how close the toy is. As you can see, really close attention to detail, spot on, making the most of the doll with that camera lighting and the sense of depth there from the lanterns in the background, really nice. And of course we've got this new sculpt to make that face absolutely spot on in terms of how Rapunzel looks in Tangled. Moving on to the next recreation, we've got this original image, the target image for Merida on her warhorse. And you can see here Brian bringing in a horse prop, positioning it where he wants it in the scene. We've got, of course, the Woodland Glen, and again, this is the sort of thing that we'll do out in the garden, get all sorts of bushes and hedges and moss and recreate places to play. Of course here everything is held in position with those tripods, getting the camera angle absolutely perfect, the lighting just right, so you end up with this finished product, Merida on top of her warhorse with her bow drawn, and there's a sense of movement there in her hair and also in the hair of the horse. I think really effective. I think this is one of my favourite images that Brian's come up with using these princess dolls. Then finally we have this image of Tiana from The Princess and the Frog to recreate. The challenge here I think is that scale, really zoomed out, and the architecture of the building. This means to create that sense of scale, we've got a 6-foot architecture that's been created, laser cut windows, lots of detail around there. Once it's lit, you can see this is where we're getting the colour match to that scene from the film. We've got the camera in place as the whole scene starts to resemble that from the film. If we go back to that film image and then reveal how it looks in toy form, you can see here it's really spot on. Not only the position and the layout of the architecture and the princess doll, but also the colours and the wider scene. I think it's done a really nice job. And throughout all these, it's a real sense of play. I really like the idea that we have got professional people, cameraman, producers, all having a lot of fun doing the sort of thing that happens in homes across the country every day as kids grab hold of their princess dolls and put them to work in all sorts of settings and all sorts of adventures.